Good day, I'm Kate Snow in New York. I want to take you to Los Angeles, where Rob Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, just made his first court appearance since being charged with murder in the deaths of his parents. Nick Reiner faces 2 charges of murder in the first degree. The Los Angeles County DA says he used a knife to allegedly kill his parents. Those charges carry a maximum sentence of life without parole or even the death penalty. In today's hearing, which we're now watching tape of, Nick Reiner waived arraignment, and it has been pushed to January 7th. The only words that we are going to hear from him, we understand, are "Yes, Your Honor." Nick Reiner being held without bail now. The court did not allow a live feed, but that tape we were just showing is from the court. I don't know if we have that re-racked now, guys. Can we go back to the beginning of that tape? Okay, we're rewinding now, and as soon as we've got that, we will go back to the start of this first court appearance where we saw Nick Reiner and his attorney, Alan Jackson, which is the man right there on the screen. Let's listen in.
No, I'm here. I'm standing in front of the podium. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something.
I want to get it clear. This juncture is too early. We've coordinated with counsel from the DA's office, and January 7th, with the court's permission, will be a convenient date for us to come back for potential arraignment.
Thank you. At this time, I'll take a waiver, speedy arraignment waiver from your client.
Thank you.
Mr. Reiner, you have a constitutional and statutory right to a speedy arraignment. Your counsel is requesting that your arraignment be continued to January 7th, 2026. Do you waive your right to a speedy arraignment so that your arraignment can be heard on January 7th, 2026? And does counsel join in the waiver?
I join, Your Honor.
The court finds that the defendant has made a knowing and intelligent waiver of his right to a speedy arraignment, and that his counsel joins in that waiver. Matter set January 7, 2026 for arraignment in this department. Bail to stand at no bail. Anything further on the case?
Not by the defense, Your Honor.
Anything further?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There. Let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Misty Marris, who's watching along with us. Misty, that was very brief. We heard only saw the attorney for Nick Reiner on the screen. Alan Jackson is his name. We do expect, by the way, that he may come outside soon and talk to cameras, so we may go to that. But Misty, what did you hear there? I couldn't even see whether Nick was actually in that room, but we had been told by the pool that was in the room that he did say the words, "Yes, Your Honor."
So what we saw right there was waiving what's called a speedy arraignment. Under the law, any defendant, after formal charges are filed, has to be arraigned within 48 hours. This is so that somebody is understanding of what the charges are against them and aware of what their defenses are. Typically in this situation, you would see them enter a plea. Here, Alan Jackson, Reiner's attorney, has said that it's too early to enter a plea and that there had been an agreement with the prosecution to push that back to January 7th. Because that is outside of that 48-hour period, the judge is communicating with the defendant, do you understand that you're waiving this right that you have? So that's what we heard. Kate, what I do think is interesting, 9 times out of 10 you hear a guilty plea here. This could simply be that the defense attorney needs to dig into this, has just been retained, needs to review, needs to speak to his client. It could also be that they are thinking about whether or not a plea is something they want to discuss with prosecutors. So it could go either way. It could truly just mean I need more time, or there could be more meaning to it. Time will tell as we get towards that January 7th arraignment.
All right, Misty, thank you so much. I think, as I mentioned a moment ago, we are going to hear from the attorney for Nick Reiner, Alan Jackson. He appears to be before cameras now, so let's listen to that live.
Very, very complex, serious issues that are associated with this case. These need to be thoroughly, but very carefully dealt with and examined, analyzed. We asked during this process to move forward in the way that it was designed to move forward, not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity and with the respect that this system and this process deserves and that the family deserves. So with that, we are set for January 7th for an arraignment. That's the next court date. And that's all I have to say at this point. There may be more at some other point, but today we're going to rest on where we stand procedurally, which is this was a continuance of arraignment. Nothing happened today substantively. We'll be back for an arraignment in the same department on the 7th of January. We'll see you then.
Are you able to share about what his business day was?
family helping pay the expense?
All right, let me go back to Misty Marris. We do see our own reporter there, Morgan Chesky, so as soon as he gets ready to talk to us, we'll go to him. But Misty, for now, it sounded like what the attorney there, Alan Jackson, is saying is we needed some time. I heard him say the words, we need to move forward with restraint. This wasn't really anything today. It was just a delay, right? It was them going in and saying, we need a continuance of the arraignment. We'll come back and deal with this on January 7th. Did I hear that correctly?
Absolutely. That's what I heard as well. Basically saying this is an incredibly serious case. These charges are the highest level charges that are available under California law, not to rush to judgment. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. The only thing that happened today is that more time is needed for the defense to prepare for that upcoming arraignment, which will now take place in January. And again, Kate, that was critical because there is a right to have an arraignment speedy, meaning within 48 hours of formal charges. So now we see that that's going to be punted a couple of weeks to January 7th to give the defense, according to this press conference, time to really look into this case and make a determination on next steps very early procedurally in this one.
Misty, I saw the judge looking to her left. Do you think that Nick was actually physically there in the courtroom? Could you tell?
I couldn't tell from watching the video, but my understanding is that he was in the courtroom and did respond that he understands his rights, because he does need to say that he is going to waive that speedy arraignment. That is a right that he has. His lawyer can say that on his behalf, but there has to be a written waiver that would be filed in order to do so. It's hard to tell. This video, we can't really see the full courtroom, but hopefully we'll get some insight from the reporter who was in the room.
Yeah, I'm sure that we will hear from Morgan Chesky eventually, who was inside that courtroom. I think you do sort of see him quickly as the camera pans, but I could be wrong. Misty Marris, really appreciate it. We're going to turn back to more headlines on NBC News Now, return you to NBC News Daily, already in progress. Thank you for watching.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.